Hello students, I'm back again to discuss with you active and passive voice. At first we have to keep it in mind that voice is a quality of the transitive verb. Okay, if in a sentence the verb is transitive, then only we can make or change the sentence to passive voice. Otherwise we cannot do it. Now second point, what is voice? Voice is that form of a verb which shows whether the subject is doing the action in a sentence or it receives the action. Now based on this we can say voice is of two types, active voice and passive voice. Now what is this active voice? Sentences in which the subject performs the action and the object receives it are said to be in the active voice. Let us take the example that is in your book. The tsunami destroyed houses in Sri Lanka and parts of India. Let me first explain you or say you this about this example. In this example, the tsunami is the subject, destroyed is the verb, houses is the object, and in Sri Lanka and parts of India is the complement part of the sentence. So, in sentence, if the subject in a sentence, if the subject is the doer and the verb is in active form, then the sentence will be said in active voice. And let us check here. Here see, the tsunami is the subject and what tsunami did? Destroyed. So tsunami is the doer and verb is its active form. There is no be verb and the verb is not in past participle form. It is in past form. So here verb is in active form. So this sentence, the tsunami destroyed houses in Sri Lanka and parts of India, it is in active voice. Now see the features of active voice. The verbs are used in active form. Okay. Then the action is expressed directly. It is not expressed indirectly. Action is always in active voice. Action is always used directly. Now third point we have to keep it in mind. The emphasis is on the subject. The subject is the doer in the sentence in an active voice. Okay. Now let us discuss passive voice. What is passive voice? A sentence is in passive voice when the subject receives the action of the verb. In these sentences, the object of the active voice is placed in the position of the subject and the verb is in the passive form. Now, I have to explain few things to you clearly. Just with the help of the example, I am going to say you. See here. The hall was decorated by me. Okay. Here, if I first say the sentence in active voice, then it will be I decorated the hall. So, I decorated the hall. I is the subject and decorated is the main verb and the hall is the object. Decorated is in active form and doer is the subject in this sentence. So, I decorated the hall is in active voice. Now, if I want to change it to passive, then I have to first find out the object in the sentence. I decorated the hall. What I decorated? The hall. The hall is the object. So in passive sentence or passive voice, not sentence, in passive voice, object will be the subject. I decorated the hall. The hall is the object of this active voice. If I want to change it to passive voice, then this hall will be the subject. So the hall. Now decorated, the main verb in active voice is in past tense. So we have to change this decorated verb into its passive form. What will be the passive form of the decorated verb? We have to take the help of be verb, and in singular number hall is singular, so be verb's past form in passive will be was. So the hall was. Then the third form or the past participle form of the main verb means decorated. Decorate, decorated, decorated. So past participle form is decorated. The hall was decorated. Then we have to add another word extra, that is by me. Now I will change in passive to me. So what will be the passive form of the sentence I decorated the hall? The hall was decorated by me. Okay. So sentence with intransitive verbs, that is verbs used without an object, cannot be transformed into passive voice. Passive voice. Here we are able to change it to passive voice because there is a object. There is an object. Okay. See another example. I played football. I is the subject, played is the verb, football is the object. Here I, subject, is doing the action of playing football and played is in past tense. Okay, so I played football. This is an active voice. If I change it to passive, what will be the passive form of this sentence? Football was played by me. I hope you have understood. Girls and boys, if there is any doubt, you will text me to clear your doubt. Now see the chart that is given in your book. Active voice and passive voice. Personal pronouns used as subject in active sentences change their form in passive voice. And see the chart. I in active voice, in passive it will be me. We in active voice will change to us in passive voice. He will change to his in passive voice. In active voice, if it is she, in passive it will be her. Active voice they, in passive them. So these are very common things and I know you all know this. Only to refresh we need to practice this let's practice part. Let me explain few sentences here. The question is, identify the voice of the following sentences. See, A. Nepali is spoken in Nepal and parts of India. Here just look at the verb. Be verb is there. Then speak verbs past participle form spoken is there. So Nepali is spoken in Nepal and parts of India. It is in passive form because the verb is in passive form. Is spoken is passive. Okay, so this is passive voice. Number B. Drishti reads classics. Drishti is the subject, reads verb, classics object. So here subject is the doer in the sentence. What the subject is doing here? Reading classics. So subject is doing the work of reading. Okay, drishti is the doer and the verb is in active form. No V verb is there and the verb is not in its past participle form. So it is in active form. So this is active voice. Number 3 or C, this painting is drawn by Van Gogh. Here see verb drawn is in passive form. How you will detect? Because be verb is there and then the past participle form of the verb draw, drawn is there. So this is passive form of the verb. So the sentence also is in passive voice. Okay. So rest of the exercises of number 1 you will be solving on your own. And at the end of the class I will share the answers. You will check whether you have done it correctly or not. Now come to question number 2. Question number 2. Rewrite the following sentences in passive voice. The doer need not be mentioned in some passive sentences. Let me discuss few questions from here. Number A, David made this chocolate cake. Again we have to recall the sentence structure. Sentence structure, you see, David is the subject, made is the main verb or finite verb, this chocolate cake is the object. Okay, and here the sentence is in past tense. So to make it passive we need help of two. We have to keep it in mind the two forms of the be verb, was and were. Okay, now David is subject, made is verb, and this chocolate cake is object. And in passive voice, this chocolate cake, which is object in the active voice, will become the subject. Now this chocolate cake is singular number, so we will take help of be verb was, because the main verb is made past tense. So be verbs singular number we will be taking. Now this chocolate cake was, and past participle form of make verb is made only. This chocolate cake was made by David. I repeat again, the passive form of this sentence will be this chocolate cake was made by David. Number B, we consider him a great cook. We subject, consider verb and it is in present tense, him object, a great cook also object. Okay. Now let us take the first object here, him selected, and this object we will make subject in passive form. We subject, consider verb, him object. Now in passive, him will become he. He. Now consider is in present tense. So we will take help of be verb either am, is or are. But we have to keep it in mind, subject verb agreement. What is the subject now in passive voice? He. He is singular number, so we will take help of be verb is. He is. Now third form or past participle form of consider verb will be he is considered a great cook by us. We will become us. I repeat, he is considered a great cook by us. Is it clear, students? I hope you will be able to solve the rest of the exercises on your own, and at the end of the class that I'll be sharing all the answers and you will be able to check whether you have done correctly or not. This much for today. Thank you, students.